Training started early for the World Cup Rally, and many months before the off, Bagshot was busy, and Ford chose the Escort as their weapon for victory. These marathon-type events call for all-round reliability, and the testing of suspensions, and the fact that the machine can keep together for many thousands of miles without the stitches giving way, are vital. Ace rally driver Roger Clark passes on his experience to footballing ace Jimmy Greaves. Publicity is all in the game, and a bronco load of cameramen rush off to see the centre forward perform, and Greaves gives them a broadside. British Leyland also chose the tracks of Bagshot for their World Cup warm-up, and Peter Browning buckles his helmet down before being bumped round the rough ways of Bagshot. The Alpine course is a good testing track, and a few laps at speed soon discover the problems. Even the dust is a foretaste of things to come in a journey which would surely find out any weakness. Paddy Hopkirk passes a word of encouragement, and the mechanics work on the Triumph suspension before London-Sydney marathon winner Andrew Cowan takes the British Leyland Hope for a further run round the forest in a stone-flinging display. Royalty is attracted to this special rally, and Prince Michael of Kent meets his maxi at Bagshot before dashing round the deepening tracks. As D-Day approaches, British Leyland show off their machinery, and Tough Nut Jellignite Jack of Australia passes a friendly smile, which is guaranteed to crack a walnut at 40 yards. Like a fashion parade, men and machines are shown off as the Mini of John Handley and Paul Easter ambles away, leaving the candy-striped maxi with Rosemary Smith and Alice Watson to pose for more pictures. The show over, the team is ready for the battle to come and for the road to Wembley. The day before the start of the World Cup Rally is spent in the shadows of Wembley Stadium, with people working like ants and doing all those things they should have done ages ago. Rhubards are still in and worn with pride by the hunter. Chryslers are relying on the private owners to carry their flag, and from competition section, Des O'Dell is there to see all is well. Even girlfriends have little time left before their charms are forgotten in the rush of madness to Mexico. Everything is checked and something's forgotten. Having signed on, had the cars and numerous documents scrutineered, the day before the off draws to a close. Too late to modify machines anymore. As the clouds roll in, the well-labelled Saab, looking like a much-travelled suitcase, is taken to the Parc Fermé to remain in custody with the rest of the pack. Sunshine smiles on the visitors as Wembley grows to cup final proportions. The followers have a different interest, and ticket touts are forgotten in a feast of fine machinery and imagination. Farewells are swift and friendly. As the galaxy of globetrotters gather, the excitement mounts, and soon the early numbers are threading their way into the arena for the battle of a lifetime. Ready for the off, the ramp explodes with pressmen as the first car starts its hectic journey to Dover and beyond, a Sunday trip to the coast with a difference. Soon the cars are rolling off at a steady pace, nudging through the crowds of well-wishers. With no Group 2 regulations, pipes on the roof are in order, ready for fording the deepest gully. and with a final salute, they disappear down the tunnel to meet the waiting crowds. An escort mounts the stage for another roaring send-off, given without favour to all. The Polish entry of Syer rolls away as Marek taps a merry tune on the works prepared Escort. 96 cars started this Daily Mirror sponsored classic with entries from over 20 countries. Peru being represented. But problems are not completely missing, and the buggy appears to have them all. No, not a rebuilding job, just a misfiring engine. Our turn arrives, and thoughts of 16,500 miles of motoring are forgotten in the wonderful send-off. The Union Jack flutters for a lifetime, and as it drops, we take the road to Mexico. Having dealt with France in the night, the dampened route travels at speed across Germany via the straight autobahns, with a few chicanes to make life a little more interesting. The pace is steady, and soon Munich is sighted. The BMW factory signals our approach to control, and we move on in echelon with Syer's Ford. The rain-soaked Stuart Turner is there to meet one of his flock as the puddles deepen. At each control, roadbooks are marked and hole is identified. The roadbooks are guarded like gold, for without them all will be lost. Refreshments are well served, and there is plenty for all. Having satisfied the officials and one's personal needs, the friendliness of the German factory is forsaken for the road to Austria. Madame Claudine Troutman eases her Citroën into the gloom and on to the next control, only one country away. The Donner Brothers Caprice Prix speeds towards Vienna in more pleasant conditions. Everyone is ready for a meal as the palace gates are opened and the cavalcade enter the time control. The rally is settling down to some high-speed touring, and the majority have little trouble in clocking in on time. Car 70 arrives on schedule and joins the growing camp of competitors. Prince Michael and his fellow officers receive an enthusiastic welcome, a unique part of this classic rally. The pace hots up as the course heads towards the Iron Curtain, and friendly battles eat the kilometres away. Already over 1,000 miles have been consumed in this drive of a lifetime, but still there is no time to sleep other than on the move. With the Adriatic to soften the fall of any high diver. The first cream of the rally is smooth and fast, to the extent that a number of works teams use racing tyres. Early bird Nerette in the Citroën makes the French creation fly. The Bend is busy with Porsche and the Trautmann family. Madame Claudine leads Monsieur René, who is not far behind in another privately entered Citroën. Roger Clark, down on time, barges by, followed by Andrew Kahn's Triumph, eager to tackle the eventful Serbian Prix, due to start at Glamok, many rock-strewn kilometres away. The pounding of Yugoslavia is soon forgotten as the smooth roads of Italy are felt and thoughts of rest are near. Once servicing is done, there is time at Monza for the crews to rest. John Sprinzel and Tony Fall chatter at the end of the drive so far. Early the following morning, the heavy mist hanging over Monza is left behind as the competing cars get moving once more. Note the back wheel of the Triumph, still suffering from a foul in the forest received during this World Cup run to Mexico, still over 13,000 miles away. The Grandstand Mini is not aware that its life in the rally is nearly over as the start of the Prime approaches. It's a hive of activity as the fast ones prepare for business. Clocking and booking one's official timeout is the first chore. And with time in hand, Andrew Kahn sums up the way the Argentinians drive. Gunnar Palm and Hannu Mikkola are eager to be off as Peter Harper counts the seconds away before they accelerate into orbit. The Porsche 911 is soon to follow, and the Hillman Hunter scrambles away into the dust. we leave San Remo for France and beyond, the American Jeep continues its lonely run. The ladies drive up to the Spanish border, and without delay their wad of documents is cleared. Speeding across the plains of Spain, Timo Mäkinen sets a Latin course with fellow Finn Aaltonen by pairing up. The Ford teamsters need only one navigator, which enables one to sleep, although in Spain the course is simple to find. With only one Prem in Portugal, life becomes easy. A Duckham-minded Land Rover joins the jaunt down to Lisbon. And the familiar Portuguese windmills herald the end of the European section. Of the 96 starters, already 24 have fallen by the wayside. Control is sighted, and our trip to Rio is assured. Once the crews have checked in, the cars are driven to the docks for shipment to South America, leaving the competitors a few days of pleasure in the sunshine.
Got the top one? Yeah.
The cars are well on the way to Rio as competitors prepare for their journey. Lisbon Airport is busy, and with so many of the rally runners in one plane, it's bound to be a fun flight. Mikkola is checked and passed. Europe is forgotten as the jet climbs to cross the Atlantic. After a week of waiting, the cars arrive in Rio and collected from the docks with only a limited time before Parc Fermé. The Rolls looks ready for another 10,000 miles as the better octane is taken on board. The Saab is checked by Jolly Jim Gavin. And the highly strung Spanish seat arrives, looking like a bacon slicer. A family of Russians chatter. Andrei Walensky checks in the Australian entered 1800. And the Hillman is taken into the compound at the last possible moment, like the others, in an effort to get the cars fit for the next stage of the journey. The private Citroën pitch has a crowded look of professionalism. As the leader of the rally, Rennie Trautmann and his followers struggle to get the DS21 in on time. Monsieur Trautmann suspects sabotage as the engine plays an unhealthy tune and a feeling of frustration and desperation set in. Madame Trautmann is leading the ladies' class to add to the growing spoils of the family. At last, the deflated Citroën crawls into the compound, not quite ready for the start in Rio that night. The journey through Brazil is uneventful for most as the route heads south towards the River Plate. In the wilds of Brazil, without warning, a metal monster bars the way and the friendly Russians take the time to change partners. Cars become home once more as the kilometers tick away. Road signs are non-existent in this part of the world, and at a Y junction, we ask the way to Uruguay. Fairly confident, we motor on down the endless dirt road. The Volvo crew wave us on as they feel they can deal with their lame machine. The Brazilian-Uruguay border is sighted at last, and army uniforms are much in evidence. The interest in the rally is tremendous, and even the border officials enjoy the occasion. Uruguay causes problem. The 125-mile Prem sees the end of the rally leader, René Trautmann. However, more than 50 survivors reach Montevideo after 40 hours of non-stop driving. The time before shipment is taken checking over the cars and in some places rebuilding them. But the crews, having had a night's sleep, are ready for action once more. Including Andrew Cowan, who secures the lid on the powerhouse of his PI. Soon all the cars are on the ferry, ready to cross the River Plate to Buenos Aires. A tug takes the strain and the military band strikes up a welcome, which is well received. The Latin crowds are keen and, if left, would devour any of the competing cars. But time is pressing and the crews are soon on the move across Argentina. Of Hunter and Mab sets off a little late from the sleepy town of Los Andes, deep in the Chilean interior. Traffic soon becomes busy as the Citroëns arrive back from the loop. The leader of the private owners, Patrick Vanson, flies in and receives attention. A peep into the British Leyland service point gives one an idea of how seriously the works take such events. And Brian Culcheth advises one of the mechanics. Guy Verrier, having serviced, pushes the Citroën DS21 back on course. No traffic lights to worry about. Map reading is easy, one just follows the crowds. Up towards the Andes with all their frightening tales, the 1800 of Bob Freeborough, Cooper and Redgrave are going well as they climb to over 10,000 feet. Despite the hotter climate below, there is snow in the upper reaches. The Escort is still pairing with Altonen and Liddon leading Tony Fall and Jimmy Greaves. German Benz takes the staircase to the stars as the route from Chile winds back into Argentina and across Bolivia. Chasing the Moskviches, Paddy Hopker takes the Incas trail. The Dutch entered Datsun winds its way to La Paz and on to Lima in Peru, enough to ruin any car. Lunch is early today, as a hasty meal is purchased from a Peruvian peddler. Up the Pacific coastline in the comparative ease of the Pan American Highway. The rally route crosses the Ecuadorian border and the pace is still on. The loneliness of Ecuador is soon broken by Syer Escort as it hurries on to consolidate the Ford position. Verdi waits for the 25 survivors at As the wreck is hoisted aboard, the local band hammers out a Colombian version of Any Old Iron. Soon, the many days of dust are forgotten in the luxury of the liner. As Rosemary Smith samples the cool water of the pool. After 2 days at sea, the Panama is sighted and another 4 days of motoring are near. Winner of the Private Owners Brigade, Patrick Vanson, pushes on to Mexico, only another 6 countries away. Followed by the leading ladies. The rally route carves its way through Costa Rica towards Nicaragua. The locals are aroused by the strange invasion, and the Red Arrows are enveloped in a different kind of vapor trail by the National Cleansing Department. Fumigated, the Red Arrows hammer on under darkened skies. Honduras, El Salvador and Guatemala, the rally takes a dampened course. Back to the dust once more. Paddy Hopkirk checks the route before speeding off into the barren wastes. Crowds are not put off by the weather. And the winning Escort leads the triumphant cavalcade into Aztec Stadium. A Bolivian busker raves it up. Graham Hill awaits his guests, as Hannu Mikkola and Gunnar, along with the 22 remaining survivors, receive a hero's welcome after 16,500 miles of motoring history.